Welcome back to Boundless Books. Today, we step into the very first chapter of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, titled The Other Minister. This opening chapter takes us far away from Hogwarts and the familiar magical world, straight into the office of the British Prime Minister. It's a clever and unusual start, giving us a look at how the Muggle government interacts with the magical one during times of crisis. The chapter opens with the Muggle Prime Minister reflecting on a particularly stressful period in office. Britain has been plagued by a string of disasters, a bridge has collapsed, there have been freak weather events, and two well-known public figures have been murdered. The Prime Minister knows that the public believes these are accidents or crimes, but he has been told otherwise. He's expecting a call from the other minister, the Minister for Magic, whom he dreads seeing. As he sits alone in his office late one evening, the green flames in his fireplace burst to life. Cornelius Fudge, the former Minister for Magic, steps out, wearing his trademark green bowler hat. The Prime Minister is not pleased to see him, as their meetings are never a sign of good news. Fudge explains that many of the disasters in recent weeks are not random at all, they are the work of Lord Voldemort and his Death Eaters. The bridge collapse was caused by magical sabotage. The strange hurricane was the result of magical interference, and the murders of Amelia Bones and Emmeline Vance were targeted attacks. These names mean nothing to the Prime Minister, but Fudge makes it clear that they were prominent witches and wizards. Fudge also tells him that the Ministry has had little success in controlling Voldemort's forces. Magical creatures like Dementors have joined Voldemort, spreading terror in both the wizarding and Muggle worlds. Their presence is linked to an increase in despair, violence, and even murders in the non-magical community. The Prime Minister, overwhelmed, wonders why Fudge is still in office if things are going so badly. That's when Fudge breaks the news: he's no longer Minister for Magic. He has been replaced by Rufus Scrimgeour, a former head of the Auror Office, known for his lion-like mane of hair and no-nonsense attitude. Scrimgeour steps through the fireplace to introduce himself, immediately giving off a very different impression from Fudge, more authoritative, more forceful, but also a bit intimidating. Scrimgeour assures the Prime Minister that the Ministry is taking the threats seriously, but he makes it clear that Voldemort's forces are powerful and well-organized. He warns that the Ministry might need to inform the Muggle authorities if more attacks happen. The Prime Minister is both unnerved and resentful. He has enough trouble without having to deal with dark wizards. Before leaving, Fudge awkwardly apologizes for the Prime Minister's difficult introduction to the magical world years ago. He also mentions that Harry Potter is still alive and remains Voldemort's target. This baffles the Prime Minister, who can't understand why one boy could matter so much in such a dangerous conflict. The chapter closes with the Prime Minister sitting in stunned silence after the two magical ministers depart, his thoughts heavy with fear and uncertainty. The reader, meanwhile, has been handed a much wider view of the war, setting the tone for a darker and more politically complex story. Key moments in the chapter include a rare Muggle perspective. The story opens in the Muggle Prime Minister's office, showing how the wizarding world's problems are spilling into the non-magical one. It's one of the few times in the entire series where the point of view belongs to a non-magical character. Magical disasters explained, the collapsed Brockdale Bridge, unusual storms, and unexplained murders are all linked to Voldemort's return, highlighting the scale of his influence. The fate of Amelia Bones and Emmeline Vance, these deaths serve as a grim reminder of Voldemort's ruthlessness and his direct targeting of high-ranking or influential witches and wizards. Fudges Fall from power. Cornelius Fudge admits he is no longer Minister for Magic, marking a major political shift in the wizarding world after his denial of Voldemort's return in the previous book. Introduction of Rufus Scrimgeour, the new Minister for Magic, makes his first appearance, setting up his role as a key political figure in the story. Dementors on the loose. Fudge reveals that Dementors have left Azkaban and joined Voldemort, which is responsible for an increase in despair and chaos even among Muggles. Harry Potter mentioned. Although Harry is not present in this chapter, his significance is reinforced. Even the Muggle Prime Minister is told that Harry is central to the conflict. Differences between the book and the movie. The film adaptation of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince omits the other minister entirely. This means several key aspects of the book's opening are missing from the movie. No Muggle Prime Minister scene. The movie begins with a visually dramatic sequence in London, including a collapsing Millennium Bridge, but this is shown without any political context or explanation involving the Muggle government. Cornelius Fudge's resignation in the film. There's no direct scene showing Fudge stepping down or Scrimgeour taking over. This political transition happens off-screen and is never explicitly mentioned. Absence of Rufus Scrimgeour's introduction. Scrimgeour is a significant book character, but the movies reduce his role drastically. He does not appear in Half-Blood Prince at all, only making a brief appearance in Deathly Hallows, Part 1. Muggle-Wizard relations. The humorous yet tense interactions between the Prime Minister and the Ministers for Magic are unique to the book. The Other Minister is a brilliantly unusual opening for a Harry Potter book. It shifts the reader's perspective, showing that Voldemort's rise affects far more than just Hogwarts or the wizarding world. By including a political dimension, J.K. Rowling expands the scope of the conflict, illustrating how magical and non-magical lives intertwine in times of crisis. The absence of this chapter in the movie removes an important layer of realism and complexity from the story. Without it, the film jumps straight into the action, but loses the chance to explore the broader societal impact of Voldemort's return. That wraps up Chapter 1, The Other Minister. It's a masterful setup for the darker, more political themes of the Half-Blood Prince. Which part of this opening did you find most intriguing? The disasters explained, the change in magical leadership, or the uneasy alliance between the two worlds? Let us know your thoughts, and get ready to step back into the wizarding world as we continue to the next chapter.